The VR industry has been missing something up until this point. A proper stealth RPG, but that's no longer the case. I got to try out Vampire the Masquerade Justice on PC, and it's fantastic. For the first time, this feels like a proper VR stealth game. It was even giving me some Dishonored vibes, which I love. I am being sponsored by Fast Travel Games to cover this, but I wanted to cover this anyway, and I've been looking forward to it, so I'm going to give an unbiased review to the best of my ability. This review will be broken down into 3 sections: graphics, sound, and gameplay. There'll be timestamps in the description. Starting off with the graphics. I think they're quite nice. Now, this game has been out in the MetaQuest for a while, and it's being ported over to PCVR. I did not play the Quest version, so I can't give you a proper comparison on if this is improved. The graphic style is kind of like a low-poly, painterly look, but I think it works great for this type of game, and there's a lot of detail in these environments. Like I said before, it does give kind of an OG Dishonored vibe to it with the graphical style, and I love it. The graphics, in my opinion, work great. On to the sound. Your character can either be male or female. The voice acting sounds great on both, but I stuck with the female character for my playthrough.
Any other kindred. That they would put themselves first, and when they had a goal in mind, they would step on whoever needed stepping on to reach it.
The sounds when you're playing also have kind of an eerie atmosphere, which I think works well. The enemies you fight and different characters are all professionally voice acted with great lines. The music has kind of a Victorian vibe to it since this game takes place in Venice, and I think that works great. Overall, I had no problems with the sound. Now on to the gameplay. So I was a huge fan of Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. A lot of you might not even know what that is, but it's a pretty old RPG from 2004. In my opinion, it's still one of the greatest RPGs to this day. This game is not like Bloodlines, although it does take place in the same universe. It's more of a stealth RPG, which pretty much feels like Dishonored or Thief in VR, and I think that's great. It's so much fun. You feel like an absolute badass pulling off some of these moves. So you have a hub area in the game where you can unlock stronger vampire powers and rest. Then you go out into the world where it's split up into different maps where you have objectives. There's also a lot of secret unlockable areas, different paths you can take to your objective. You can climb up pipes, sneak along the back of alleys in the shadows. But you are a vampire in this game, and you will be biting people. You have to physically bring your head to someone's neck, and this is how you'll gain your health back and get more juice for your different vampire powers. You can also eat rats, and it's pretty disgusting, but it's fun to do. Now, I haven't unlocked all the powers in my playthrough yet, but from what I've played around with, they are well thought out and very fun. There's a teleport blink skill that you can use to charge at enemies and quickly take them down or get away. There's a distance grappling thing that you can use to suck up blood from people even if you're not next to them, a shadow skill that lets you avoid enemies by blending in, and a trap skill that will take enemies down instantly. All these powers are well animated and it feels great to use them. The primary gameplay does involve a lot of stealth, and I thought the AI was pretty challenging. They were a little dumb at some spots, but it was enough of a challenge where I tried to actively not be spotted too often. AI in stealth games are hard to get 100% perfect all the time, so I can't fault them for that, but overall I had no problems with it. For controls, I was using Index. I think it worked pretty well considering the game was first developed for the Quest. I didn't have an issue controlling my character, but one thing that was a bit funky was there's a telekinesis thing, kind of like Half-Life Alyx. I had trouble getting it to trigger sometimes, so I ended up just physically bending down to grab objects. This could just be a bug, or it might be my specific controllers, but that was the only annoying thing I was running into. Overall, absolutely fantastic gameplay, and there's nothing quite like this type of game in VR, or at least not done as well as this. So what is my final score for Vampire the Masquerade Justice? If you are a fan of stealth games, if you want Dishonored or Thief in VR, this is the closest you're going to get. It's got a pretty long campaign too. It's a single player VR RPG, and I haven't beaten it yet, but I think it's around 15 to 20 hours, which is reasonable. The PCVR port is really good, and if you're watching this game on the Quest or PSVR 2, I think it's worth it. I'm giving this game a 9 out of 10. It's also discounted for a limited time at 20% off, and I would highly recommend grabbing it if you're interested. I'll leave the link in the description. Thanks for watching. For the rest of the video, I'm going to show off some gameplay. Enjoy!